Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining me today on this webinar. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for everyone to get on the line. Well, again, my name is Josh Nelson. I'm the co-founder here at Auto SEO. We specialize in providing internet marketing and SEO and social media strategies for auto repair shops throughout the United States. And today's webinar is going to be all about internet marketing strategies for auto repair, auto body, and other auto-related shops. So it's time to start the call. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. If you have questions, feel free to email us. You can email me, josh@autorepair.seo.net, or call us anytime, 866-610-4647. So just to kind of give you an overview of what we're going to be covering today, we're going to start by talking about why search engines and internet marketing are so important for auto repair shops, especially with the changes that are happening in the online and offline world. I'll kind of demystify what's happening on the search engines, especially with the map listings, the organic, and the paid listings. There's a lot going on the search engines, and a lot of auto repair shops, don't first of all understand how they work and what the differences are. But more importantly, they don't have a strategy in place to really maximize the potential and grow their business by tapping into some of the opportunity that there is online. So I'm going to demystify them, and by doing so, it'll help you develop a strategy for each of the different components of search engine marketing. From there, I'll answer really the most common question that I get from auto shops throughout the United States, and that's, how do I get my auto shop listed on the map when someone goes to Google or Yahoo or Bing and types in, my city plus auto repair? And I'll really go into depth on what you need to do in order to put your best foot forward and really give yourself the best probability of showing up on the map when someone types that search. Then we'll talk about search engine optimization and how you can improve your placement in the organic section. And I've got some really valuable information in that section, including, based on our keyword research and looking at the historic data on Google and Yahoo and Bing, really what are the 50 most commonly searched auto repair keywords, and arm you with the information on how you can use that data to build the necessary pages on your website so you can show up for the for the things people are actually searching. Really fundamental to internet marketing and especially search engine optimization is doing keyword research, understanding what people are typing in, and then building out your website in a way to make sure you're showing up for those most commonly searched keywords. And then I'll talk about social media strategy. Right now social media is extremely hot. You hear a lot about Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google Plus now, but most auto repair shops don't have a strategy that they have in place for leveraging these tools. And so we're going to share our strategy for the auto repair industry with you on today's webinar. So fasten your seatbelt. A lot of valuable information here, and we're gonna dive right into it. So search engine marketing and internet marketing is extremely important for the automotive industry, primarily because there's been a major transition in the last 10 years from offline marketing, where the internet wasn't that prevalent, and really if somebody wanted to find a local auto repair shop, they really only had a few options. They would either go to the Yellow Pages, or they would pick up the local circular, maybe the flyer or a piece of mail that they received, and that would be where they would go if they were looking for their local auto repair shop. Well, there's been a major transition in the fact that as the internet has become popular, people really aren't going to the Yellow Pages nearly as often as they used to. And so that begs the question, where are they going? Where do they look today if they need to find the local auto mechanic or the local tire shop or the local body shop? Well, they go straight to the internet, either Google or Yahoo or Bing, and they type in something like city auto mechanic or city auto repair or city body shop. So it's become extremely important to make sure that you're showing up on the internet when people are searching for what you do, so that you can continue to have a steady flow of new customers coming into the shop. There was an independent study done of 2,000 consumers that found that more than 86% of people that use the internet are using it to find local business. So, this is statistical, verification that it's not an assumption. Oh, I would imagine people must be going to the internet. No, I mean the research has been done, and it really shows this is where people are going when they're looking for for these types of services. And it's a major opportunity. We've done the keyword research, and not just for the word auto repair shop, but all of the different words that somebody might type if they were looking for auto repair type services. There's over 30 million searches every single month for auto related terms. So this really creates a major opportunity for you as an auto mechanic or an auto body shop to really position yourself in front of these people as they're looking for what you do. So I really just want to kind of demystify what's happening on the search engines. There's a lot of moving parts when you go to Google or Yahoo or Bing and you type in your city plus auto repair, or your city plus auto mechanic, or your city plus car service. And I just want to kind of explain the differences between the pay-per-click area, the organic section, and of course the map. And so if you look at the image I have up on the screen right now, you see the area that's highlighted here along the top and along the side. This is called the pay-per-click section of the search engine. You're able to pick keywords like your city plus auto repair shop, for instance, and bid in order to show up in this area. And that's why it's referred to as pay-per-click. You're able to pick your keywords, set a bid, and show up consistently for the words that are relevant to what you do in this area on the search engines. Beneath that is what's referred to as the organic section. That's this map area and the area below that. And you can't buy your way into the organic section on the search engine. You have to make sure that you have a website and you've got content on that website that's relevant. So if you're an auto repair shop in a small town in your area, you want to make sure that you've got information relative to what you do in that specific area to improve your probability of showing up on the map and in the organic section. And I'm going to be speaking more about specific strategies on how you can do that, but just suffice it to say, you can't buy your way into the organic section of the search engines. So one of the questions we get often is, well, if you're able to buy your way into the paid section on the search engines, and you can't do so on the organic section, why not just do pay-per-click as a standalone strategy? Buy the keywords and make sure that you're showing up there. And I'll be the first to tell you, I really think you want to have a strategy for both pay-per-click advertising and search engine optimization or getting placement in the organic area. But if you wind up in a scenario where you've got a limited budget and you want to make sure that you do the most with the dollars that you have, you're probably going to want to invest the majority of that in the organic section for the search engines. Because the question is, where should we spend our money? Well, if you look at the data, and there's been a number of surveys and studies done on this, but the majority of the population, when they go to Google and they type in a search, their eyes go straight to the organic section. This study was done a few years back, but it shows that more than 72% of clicks go directly to the organic area. A more recent survey that include the map information, this is what we call a heat map that shows where the eyes look when they're looking at a screen. And you can see somebody typed in a search, and the majority of the population looks directly at the map in the organic section, with very little time spent on the paid area. So while you can pay for placement in the AdWords or the paid section of the search engines, you're going to get more quality clicks and more quality conversions from the traffic that you get from the organic section, as is relayed in this heat map. So one of the number one questions that I get from auto repair shops throughout the United States is, what do I need to do to get my shop to show up on the Google map when somebody types in my city plus body shop, auto shop or body shop or whatever their specific auto-related service keyword is? And I really just want to talk through what you can do in order to make sure that you're showing up on the map section of Google, specifically Google Places. The first thing that you're going to want to do is claim your map listing on Google Places. And to do that, all you have to do is go to google.com/places, and you'll be able to go in and enter information and verify that you're the owner of your auto repair shop, and tangibly claim that listing for yourself. A a lot of the statistics that come straight from Google indicate that more than 90% of local businesses haven't taken the 20 or 30 minutes that it takes to claim their listing on Google Places. So if you're on this call right now, haven't already claimed your Google Places listings, I'm going to recommend you do that immediately. Write down the URL, google.com/places, claim your listing. And I've got a how-to guide that will walk you step by step through the process of claiming your map listing. If you want to get that, you can just go to autorepairseo.net/free. You can download that step-by-step guide. So once you've claimed your map listing, the next thing you want to do is you want to build out the listing, because it's becoming more and more important that the listings that Google serves in their maps is relevancy. So you want to go in there, you want to add photos, and don't just add stock photography. Add some photos of yourself, of your staff, of your facility, of your shop. Add your logo up there. Really be creative, but add legitimate pictures and photos that would indicate the type of operation that you have. You can upload up to 10 photos. You can have up to 5 videos. Definitely recommend uploading videos. And it's as simple as creating a video, even if you did it on your iPhone or your Android phone that now have nice cameras. Do a couple shots of your shop, maybe a quick video of you saying, hey, this is our shop and this is what we do, this is where we're located. Upload that to YouTube and then connect that to your Google Places listing. Little things can make a huge difference in the probability of showing up on the Google Map. So I encourage you, upload 10 photos, upload 5 videos. Make sure that you add keywords relative to what you do in the description area, and make sure you select the right categories. If you're an auto repair shop, then you want to make sure that you've got auto mechanic, auto repair shop, auto service. Those are the categories that are important for auto repair. But suffice it to say, it's really important that you spend some time not just claiming the listing, but also then building out that listing. Also, a very important determinant of placement on the Google Map is going to be your website. You want to make sure that your website is optimized with the city and services that you operate. So make sure you go in and you update your title tag so that it talks about the city that you operate in and the auto repair service or car service or auto maintenance. And that way, when Google goes to your Google Places listing and then spiders further to your website, it can really get a clear indication that, okay, this is a local business in this local area. We want to add them to the Google Places listings. So the first 3 items I've talked about, claiming your map listing, building it out, and optimizing your website, are all things that you can control, relatively easily. The other determinants of placement are a little less within your control on your website and on your Google Places listing, but probably have a bigger indication as to whether or not you're going to show up or not. And those 2 criteria are citations and reviews. So a citation is just a web reference of your company's name, phone number, and address. And so you want to make sure that you've got a consistent name, address, and phone number, also known as a NAP, throughout the web. And by getting more citations with that consistent name, address, and phone number, the more credible you're going to seem in Google's eyes, and the higher probability of showing up when someone types in your city plus auto shop. As far as reviews are concerned, our research indicates that real reviews from real customers can significantly improve, the probability of showing up on the map. And when I say real customers, I mean real customers. You don't want to just tell the guys in the shop, hey, go online to our Google Places listing and write a review, or call mom and have her write a review. Now, if she's used you for auto service, and go ahead and get that review. But what I want to encourage you is to make sure you're getting your legitimate customers to write reviews and not trying to game the system in some way, because Google does have algorithms in place where they're able to catch fraudulent reviews, and you can wind up hurting yourself more than you actually wind up helping yourself. In an effort to get more citations, because citations are extremely important, it's really easy to go out to some of the local directory listing sites and get free listings. Yahoo, Bing, Yelp, Judy's Book, City Search. I mean, these are all directory sites that you can go into, add your company name, add your phone number, add your address, make sure that your URL is associated, upload a few photos, and now you've got a quality citation that's going to improve your Google Places listing. Again, I've got a step-by-step guide that will walk you through how to claim your map listing and where you can get some of these citations, and you can access that at autorepairseo.net/free. So once you've kind of mastered the fundamentals of getting yourself listed on the map, the next question is, how can you optimize your website so that you can show up more often in the organic section of the search engines, also referred to as search engine optimization. And from a high level, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build out your website so that it has more placeholders or more pages. A typical website's going to have, for an auto shop, it's going to have home, about us, our services, maybe coupons, and then contact us. So 5 pages. I really encourage an auto repair shop needs to have somewhere between 50 and 75 pages. And the reason for that is you're going to want to have a page for each one of your services. So if you've got home, about us, our services, and then you do oil changes, car maintenance, transmission repair, tire rotation, and the list goes on, you want to have a page for each one of those different services, and then you also want to have a page for each one of the locations that you operate in. So, if your main city, I'll just use an example of Miami, if your main city is Miami, but you also service a lot of sub-cities in and around Miami, so it might be Kendall, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, Homestead, and all the little cities in and around the Miami area, you want to have a page for each one of those sub-cities, because it's going to give you more placeholders on the search engine. And once you've got those placeholders, you need to really optimize those pages. So it's clear to Google that your Miami oil change page is optimized for the word Miami oil change, and you've got all of the right on-page factors in place. And I'll talk about those in a little more detail in a few minutes. But ultimately, search engine optimization really comes down to the number of inbound links to your site. You could have the best website with the best on-page optimization, but if you don't have inbound links, you're not going to show up, page 1 for those important keywords. Because what determines the person that's in position 1 versus the position 5 versus position 17 for your city plus your service is, first of all, is the website optimized for that keyword combination, but more importantly, how many inbound links does that specific page have from other credible websites on the internet? 70% or more of your placement, versus, page 1 versus page 15 is going to be the number of inbound links pointing to your website. So you have to have a proactive strategy to go out and get inbound links to your website. When we talk about search engine optimization and getting your website placed more prevalently on the search engines for your auto repair keywords, the first thing you need to look at before you do anything else is keyword research. You have to know what the most commonly searched keywords are within your industry, so that you can optimize your website for those keywords. Because it would be a shame to just pick a keyword at random, build a page around it, and then have nobody searching for it. It's not going to do you any good to show up position 1 for a keyword that doesn't have any search volume. So we've actually done a lot of research. We've worked with a number of auto repair shops throughout the United States and have developed a list of the most commonly searched auto repair keywords. And I've got them up on the screen. If you'd like to download this, this document and have access to it, you can access that at autorepairseo.net/free. And we can send you an Excel sheet with all of these different keywords in a format that you can more easily access. But it might seem kind of common sense, right? Mechanics, brakes, auto repair, mechanic, oil change, automotive repair, car service, auto body, car repair, transmissions, and the list goes on and on. But one of the interesting things that you'll see, this is the 50 most frequently searched keywords in the automotive repair industry, is there's a lot of different keyword combinations, and a lot of these seem to be the same exact description, but they're a different keyword, and you have to optimize the pages on your website differently for each of these combinations and permutations. And now I've got that same list broken out by search volume, so you're able to see, exactly how many searches there are for mechanics versus brakes versus auto repair. You can see there's a lot of search for these things, and if you put a strategy in place and you're proactive with this, you can really tap into a lot of new business for your shop. Now, one interesting thing I wanted to point out, and what I did was I took the top 10 keywords from that list that I showed you before out of those top 50, and I showed, the top 10 are mechanics, brakes, auto repair, mechanic. And these are the national keywords, right? There's no geo modifier associated with this. The term mechanics has 2.4 million searches, and the term brakes has 1.8 million searches. So you might think, well, then I'm just going to create a page, my city plus mechanics, my city plus brakes, my city plus auto repair, and really stack the importance based on that criteria. You want to take a step beyond that before you go there first. You want to make sure that you take your main keywords and combine it with the actual city that you operate in. And in this example, I've used Miami, and you can see the search volume on a local basis is different than the search volume on a national basis. You can see actually the most commonly searched localized combination was Miami car service with 5,400 searches, and Miami auto repair with 4,400 searches. So I show you this just because I want you to understand there's a distinction between nationalized search volume and localized search volume. So you want to take a step, that next step, and do some additional research to figure out, in your city, how are people searching for the auto repair type services. And you can take this information then and determine, okay, what pages do I want to at least make sure that I have on my website? And based on this, you definitely want to have city plus car service, city plus auto repair, city plus mechanic, city plus oil change, city plus transmission, city plus brakes, and you want to make sure you have a page for each one of these different keyword combinations. And I put down here at the bottom sub-city plus car service / auto repair, in that if you have 4 cities in and around the area that that your shop is located, you want to make those sub-cities as well. And you don't want to just have one, you want to have multiple. You want to have at least one for each one of the different sub-cities that you operate in. So I talked about having more pages, which will result in more placeholders. In a typical, like I said, auto repair shop has home, about us, our services, coupons, and then contact us. And as we saw on the previous page, you definitely want to make sure that you build out all of these different pages for each one of these different services. And so by doing so, you have placeholders on the search engines, not just for your city plus auto repair, but you also have one for your city plus oil change, your city plus transmission repair, your sub-city plus auto repair, and the list goes on and on. But this is what we're talking about. You need to build the pages before you can start to do the on-page optimization. And there's a ton of information and a ton of different components to on-page optimization, but there's only a handful that account for the majority of placement. So if we look at the 80-20 rule, 20% of what you can do on your website is going to account for 80% of the results. So I really try and focus right now, especially on today's webinar, around the 20% that's going to drive you the biggest result. And one of the main items that you can change on your website that's going to really help Google understand what that page is about and optimize it for that specific keyword is the title tag. And if we look at a typical title tag on an automotive website, it'll say something like the company name, Joe's Auto Service. Or even worse, it might just say home. You want to optimize your title tag so that it takes your number one keyword, your city plus auto repair, your city plus car service, and moves it to the very front of the title tag. So, in my opinion, if you've got an auto repair shop and you're in Miami, you want that auto repair title tag to say Miami Auto Repair, then the company name, and then the second keyword, which would be maybe Miami Car Service or Car Service in Miami. But the point is, by changing that title tag, that's one of the number one determinants that Google looks at to say, okay, what is this web page all about? And there's definitely additional factors beyond that. You want to make sure that you've got your H1 tag, which is the area just below your first graphic that would define what your page is about. If you've got images on your page, and you should have images because images convert better, you want to make sure you've named that image instead of autorepairshop.gif or whatever the case is. You want to name it Miami Auto Repair Shop, which is or whatever the main keyword for that page is. And then you want to make sure you've got an alt tag attribution associated with that image. Beyond that, you want to make sure that your URL contains the main keyword that you're optimizing for. And this really comes into play more on the subpages. So if we've built out your website to let's just call it 50 pages, and one of those pages is Miami Oil Change, and that page is all built around the keyword Miami Oil Change, we're going to want to make sure the title tag says Miami Oil Change. We're going to want to make sure the H1 tag says Miami Oil Change. We want to have an image that we've named Miami Oil Change with the alt tag Miami Oil Change. And then the URL, instead of being yourcompany.com/oil change, you want it to be mywebsite.com/Miami Oil Change, or whatever keyword combination you're optimizing for. And by doing that, you can really make it clear to Google what that page is all about, and really make sure that you're in the index, like we talked about before, for the keyword combinations that are important to you. From there, you want to make sure that you have a sitemap submitted to Google Webmaster Tools and Bing Webmaster Tools. And this might sound like an advanced concept. It might sound kind of confusing, but it's really not. It's a matter of developing a sitemap, which is as simple as going into Google, typing in sitemap generator. You can find all kinds of free tools online that will help you generate a sitemap, an XML sitemap. And what an XML sitemap is, it's literally just a listing of the pages that are on your website with the URLs associated with each. And by submitting a sitemap, you make it clear for Google and for the other search engines exactly how many pages you have and what those pages are all about. So generate a sitemap, and you can create a Webmaster Tools account on Bing and Google, and it's a simple process to submit that sitemap. And it makes sure that all of those 50 pages or 75 pages or whatever the case is get indexed and get found on the search. So what I've talked about to this point from an SEO perspective is really just on page, right? Making sure that you've got the necessary pages, that you've done the necessary tagging on the web page for each one of the different keywords that you're optimizing for. But that on-page optimization really only accounts 30% towards placement, 30% or less, because there's a lot of auto repair shops in your area, and there's a lot of them that have probably gotten proactively involved in search engine optimization. So if we just continue with our example of a Miami auto repair shop, if your keyword is Miami auto repair, and there's 100 other auto repair shops in Miami that want to show up for Miami auto repair, just because you did all of the right stuff on your website to make sure that Google knows your page is about Miami auto repair, that doesn't mean you're going to be in the first spot. It just means you're going to be in the list of 100. And in order to position yourself in position 3 versus position 75, for instance, or get to page 1 instead of page 7, it all comes down to the number of inbound links to your website from other websites on the internet. And you want to make sure that you get them on relevant, quality, local websites as well. But ultimately, it's all about inbound links to your site. And 70% of the battle is getting links. And he who has the most inbound links wins. And there's a lot of strategies you can use to get inbound links to your site. I've got an implementation guide that explains some specific step-by-step strategies on how you can get inbound links and move your site to the top of the search engines. If you want to access that, you can go to autorepairseo.net/free and download that complete guide. So let's talk about social media for auto repair and in the automotive industry. We all know that Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google Plus. I mean, these are really hot right now, and there's literally millions and millions of users engaged in social media. And if you're involved in the business industry, you hear a lot of people saying, "Hell, you need to get involved in social media for your business." But as an auto repair shop, you might really be confused. A lot of the auto repair shops I talk with, they understand that it's hot, they understand that there's a lot of people engaged, but they have no idea how it applies to their business and how they can use it to get more sales and grow their revenues. So I just want to really talk you through how I feel that it applies and how we've seen it really be beneficial for some of the auto shops that we work with. So I want to start just by asking you a simple question. What's your number one source of business right now? And I imagine, if there were, let's just say there's 25 people on today's webinar, more than 20 of you, came up with the answer, word of mouth and repeat business. That's really where we get our business, word of mouth and repeat business. Well, social media is the new way of taking word of mouth and getting repeat business and really taking that to the next level. Because the average Facebook user has 138 friends. And so if you can get that Facebook user who's a client, comes into your shop, has a good experience, if you can get him to engage with you on social media and say that he likes you, well, now all 138 of his friends see that he likes you and that he's doing business with you. And it's almost as if he picked up the phone and called his circle of influence, actually his extended circle of influence, and said, "Hey, I just was over at XYZ Auto Shop. They took care of me. They didn't rip me off, and I highly recommend them." And knowing what you know about word of mouth business, who do you think that guy's going to go to the next time he has an issue with his car? It's going to be you. And this is really why social media has so much power for an automotive shop or for the automotive industry. So I just want to give you a brief roadmap of how you can implement social media into your auto repair shop. The first thing you want to do is set up your social media profiles. And there's hundreds of places that you can set up social media profiles, but I'm going to recommend the big ones. Facebook. Go to facebook.com. If you don't have a personal profile, set one up and set up a Facebook business page. Now, this is a page that's dedicated specifically to your business. Set up a Twitter profile. Set up a LinkedIn account. Set up a YouTube channel. Set up a Google Plus profile. And create a blog. I recommend setting up that blog on your actual company website, yourcompany.com/blog. But if you don't have that capability, another option would be to go to blogger.com or to Tumblr. But in any event, your blog is going to be the central place where you put information and content, kind of like the hub for everything that you do within your online sphere. Once you have those profiles up and running, you want to send an email out to your existing list of customers. And if you're like most auto shops, maybe you don't already have that list. But if you do, this is a great way to kick off your social media efforts. Send an email out to your friends, to your family, to your existing customers that says, "Hey, listen, we're excited. We've got these social media profiles set up. We're going to be putting out valuable information about, what we're doing, special offers, discounts," and then invite them to subscribe, follow, and like you on the different social media profiles. But be sure to offer some type of incentive, maybe something free or at least a discount on their next service, something that they can offer to their friends and family. But by doing so, you can start to create a following. And by getting that following off the ground, it can start to grow virally. And it will start to have a return on investment right away. If you can just get a handful of people to engage with you on social media, remember the average, just Facebook user has 135 friends. So, do the math in your head and you'll start to realize that it's going to make sense to invest some time and some energy on, getting this off the ground. Once you've got these social profiles set up and you've sent that initial request out to your, to your user base, you're going to want to have an ongoing effort to put new information on your social media profiles. With the caveat that you don't want to just put sales information. You don't want to just say, "Hey, bring your car here and get, a 1995 oil change." Put information that's interesting and valuable. Things like, what's the proper way to change the oil in your vehicle? What's the difference between, the different types of oil? Just information that would be of value, and keep it 90% informational and less than 10% promotional. With that said, you do want to put some promotional information out there, but just don't make it the mainstay. Don't make it everything that you post be, hey, special offer, special offer, special offer, because it really it's gonna make your followers not want to follow you anymore and block you on the social media profiles. And then be sure to engage. I know when you put an interesting piece of information on your social media and somebody writes something back, be sure to engage with them. Thank them for their comment and try and continue that conversation, because social media at the end of the day is social, and you want to make sure that there's engagement happening and not just a one-way dialogue where you're just pushing information out online. So just to recap, you want to make sure that you optimize your website. You want to make sure that you optimize your listing on Google Places for the Google map. So go to google.com/places and claim and build out your listing. You want to optimize your website, and I provided you with a list of the most commonly searched automotive keywords and a roadmap on the types of pages that you want to make sure that you set up on your site, and what you need to do on each of those pages so that it can be optimized for the necessary keywords. So really go out there and do the on-page optimization and start obtaining inbound links. And then use social media. Use social media as a tool to drive referrals and repeat business. And then, of course, you can leverage email as a means to follow up with your existing customers and really shore up your online marketing efforts. The way I think you could really leverage email in an automotive sphere is, first of all, send an email out to your existing, to your customers after service, thanking them for business, and then ask them to write a review. I talked about the fact that online reviews are a major determinant of placement in the Google Places listings. Well, if you have a strategy where you're sending an email to your customer after service, thanking them and then asking them for a review, you're going to get more reviews. You can also send another email shortly after that says, hey, by the way, we've got our online marketing social media profiles in place. Why don't you friend us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter? And what that's going to really help you grow that social media following that we've been talking about. So I hope that you found this information valuable. I hope you found it interesting. I hope it's kind of motivated you to say, you know what, I need to take action on this. There's a major opportunity and I need to connect with it. If you're on today's call, you're probably in one of two places. Either you're saying, you know what, this is great information. I think that he's given me enough ideas and techniques that I can do some of this on my own. Or you might be saying, you know what, this is great information. There are tools and strategies out there, and that's great. But as an auto mechanic or an auto body shop owner, I just don't have the time and the energy to implement this on my own. I want to hire an expert. If you're in either of those positions, I've got an option for you. If you want to do this on your own and you like the ideas and the strategies and you just want more implementation how-tos, go to www.autorepairseo.net/free, and you'll be able to download my complete implementation guide, and it really does give you more detailed instruction on how to claim your map listing, how to optimize your website, how to do some of these things that I've explained on today's call. But if you're in that position where you're thinking, you know what, I'd like to work with an expert, I'd like to be that guy. I specialize in working with auto repair shops. I have a lot of knowledge and expertise, and I can take these strategies and implement them for you on your behalf. With the one caveat being that I only work with one auto repair shop in each city. So if you're interested, if you think I can do something that's going to really help you take your business to the next level, I'd encourage you to pick up the phone right away and give me a call at 866-610-4647.